If you let it auto compound, you go from 1 to 1344 and it stays at $100. Well, if you multiply 1344 times 100, that's going to be 134,400. And then obviously minus your initial investment of $800. That's insane, dude. On an investment of $800, if Ohm goes down from $800, your initial investment, to $100, you would have made $133,000 in 1 year off the investment of 1 Ohm. Guys, that's the game theory I'm trying to explain. Your downside is you make $544. What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Thanks for tuning in. Today in this video, me and Puffy the Mike, we're going to break down Olympus Dao. Have you guys ever seen that meme? 3 is a magic number. Yeah, guys. My voice-o don't hit that tono. So, yeah, we're just going to go talk about Olympus. Anyways, guys, if you guys are new to the channel, you guys got 3. Dude, that's crazy. 3 is a magic number, right? Guys, 3 things for me. Like, subscribe, bell button, and leave a comment in that description below saying you subscribe. You'll automatically get thrown into that drawing. Turn $100 and free BTC. If you guys are old to the channel and like continuing to watching and whatever, I finally figured out why I call it 3. Like, do 3 things for me when I really say 4. It's because, I don't know, I guess randomly I just said 3. And it works. But anyways, guys, let's go ahead and talk about Olympus, what they're doing, and how they're changing the game. Like, literally, this is some serious game theory. Like, I mean, brain twister, dude. It's nuts. But first off, we're going to show you guys a couple of things in Olympus. We're going to show you guys a couple of features you guys want to look at, and then we'll break down the white paper. The white paper is like where the fire sauce is at, so highly recommend you guys stay tuned. And I will give examples. I will make sure this is something that you guys can actually understand, and it's a really cool concept. So first off, guys, you have a couple of things. You have APY. Obviously, we already know what APY is. It's not the same thing as APR. APR is what we go by, but APY is what they're giving us right now. So based on this, your APR is probably going to be about 400% or so, maybe 450 based on this rate. And if you look at the TVL, it's got about $416 million into it. So it's not a super small cap, but it's not a super large cap. Because me personally, I don't think it's like one of them degen farms. It's playing off game theory, so it's a little bit different. And if you guys don't understand what Olympus Dao is, well, the introduction kind of explains it clearly. Olympus is a algorithmic currency protocol based on the OHM token. It introduces unique economic and game theory dynamics into the market through asset backing and protocol controlled value. And it says, read more about the game theory. Don't worry, we're going to go and get into that so you guys can understand it. So, now, another thing we see is current index. What does this mean? Well, if you look on OHM, I'm going to go ahead and pull it up on CoinGecko for you guys. This is Olympus Dao. When this protocol first launched, this one launched, what did it launch at? So, technically, if you bought it, when it first launched, which was in March 24th or March 25th, however many ohm you bought, it didn't matter. So like say you bought 1 ohm, like if you bought 100 ohm, whatever, what the ratio is, this current index means is if you bought 1 ohm back in March, your 1 ohm is worth 8 ohms now. Well, that's a pretty good investment. If you bought 1 ohm at $300 and now it's 8 ohm now, well, the price of ohm is $600. So theoretically, if you think about it, you would have how much? Well, 16 times of what you invested. Anyways, guys, that's just a quick concept. That's what I'm trying to show to you guys. And obviously, you have the same old features of staking, unstaking. That's nothing crazy. But I'm going to go ahead and get rid of my face because it's really annoying. It's in the way. It's blocking the junk. And you guys already know what I look like, so who cares? So, couple of other features you need to know is your balance, stake balance, reward value, and next reward yield. What does this mean? Well, this is what the compounding rate is every single time. It rebases 3 times a day. they are just harping on them threes, man. Guys, 3 is an important number. It's actually really important in the Bible too. So it's something that's like, well, it really is game theory. Why do you think there is ice, water, and water vapor? It's kind of ironic. They have 3 things. Why do we have a moon, the sun, and earth? Why does he make 3 things? Why not just the sun and the earth? That's odd. Why do we have the sky, land, and sea? Anyways, guys, you guys get the point. A lot of things come in threes. Definitely meme magic, I'll tell you that much. So you have the reward, the next reward yield. What does this mean? So if you have 1 ohm staked, basically at the end of the reward period, you will be getting 0.0046 ohm. And obviously that is auto compounding every time. So like now the next reward yield that you will get is 1.00463 times whatever the next reward rate is, because it's auto compounding. That's why they show you APY. And then you have return on investment at the 5-day rate. So basically every 5 days you will have 7% more. So theoretically at these current APYs, if you were to stake 1 ohm, after about 71 days or roughly over 2 months, you would have your money returned back. That's as long as ohm stays at these prices. Obviously, it goes down a little bit, it'll be a little different. If it goes up, your return on investment will be a lot more. Again, it's simple game theory. And then you also have things where you can do bonds, and I'll explain how the game works. Mainly, all these crypto projects are all the same thing. Figure out how the game works and capitalize on it. So let's go and get into the white paper to explain it. What is the point of Olympus? Well, the goal is to create a policy-controlled currency system where the Ohm token is actually controlled by the Dao in order to optimize for stability and consistency for a global unit of count and medium of exchange currency. Why is this important? Well, if you haven't noticed anytime soon, or if you've been sleeping under a rock, going to buy some toilet paper costs like 3 times the amount it did like 2 years ago. And if it stayed the same price, compare that toilet paper roll from 3 years ago to the toilet paper roll now. It's like half the size. You either have inflation or shrinkflation. These companies like to do shrinkflation, but eventually the products can only get so small that they just have to increase the prices. So Ohm is not pegged to 1 DAI. It is actually backed by 1 DAI. Why is this different and why is this important? Well, if you are pegging to the price or value of $1, that $1 loses its purchasing power every single year. However, if you peg to the value that $1 can purchase, that is an entirely different thing. Good example of this is gold. Like gold is basically quote unquote a measurement that people can use to see what the price of things are doing. Typically what they say is 1 ounce of gold, like even back then, it would buy you a man's fine suit. Like today, 1 ounce of gold, about $1,600 to $1,800, will buy you a really nice suit. Same thing back then. The suits back then did not cost $1,600, but they cost about $150 to $200. Or no, it was probably less than that. It was more so about, I don't know, maybe $100. And 1 ounce of gold could do that back then. It's the same concept. However, if you have $100 back then, you are going to be able to buy way more junk than you would now. That's the problem with pegging to the dollar. If you peg to the dollar, you're pegging to something that is depreciating year after year. If you peg to the value of the dollar, aka being backed by 1 DAI or $1, then you are not increasing, but keeping the same purchasing power. So it's almost like being back to the price of gold, which you can't really back to the price of gold because people don't price things in gold. They price it in the dollar. So that's just kind of how you can understand the game theory, just so you guys can get an understanding. So I know you're asking yourself this. Well, if that's the case, well then when Ohm finally gets its peg, it'll be at $1. Well, no, guys, it's not being pegged to one DAI or $1. It's being backed by one DAI. So as an ohm is inflating, like the token amount is inflating and increasing, it's going to take less DAI per ohm because there is more ohm. So here's a good example. Say you have 1,000 ohm tokens and 100,000 in the DAI or in the treasury. Well, theoretically, one ohm token is going to equal $1,000. However, if that ohm supply inflates to 2,000 ohm because there's an inflation rate and you have 100,000 DAI into the protocol, well, now that price of the ohm token is going to equal $500, because if you do 2,000 times 500, that's going to give you 100,000. And it's the same concept. It's backed by the value. It's backed by one DAI, aka $1. So that's how you can understand it. It doesn't mean it's at that price. And obviously there are different factors that you have to take into account, because yes, other people are going to be purchasing the ohm token to earn the juicy rewards. And again, we'll explain the meme of the 3-3 so you guys can see it and understand the concept of it. So here's a quick TLDR on the game theory. So when you're investing, you need to look for lower risk. If you look at this in all of these situations, aka 1 out of 9 of them will be a negative result, so losing your money. So at this point, if you look at this protocol, this is one of those things if you rate it as a point system. Staking has the effect of pushing the price up +2. Selling the effect of pushing the price down -2. The player who moves the price gets half of the benefit. So I know that sounds like gibberish and all kinds of garbage, and I get it. That's fine. Another thing also before I get into it, players are most likely to stake when they anticipate an expansion in supply and or price. And then players are most likely to sell when they anticipate a contraction, because, well, if it's going down in price, you want to sell it before it dumps. I mean, it's just a simple concept. And then players will most likely bond when they do not have a strong directional bias. Well, when you bond, you actually get it for a discount at that instant. But then again, you can't stake it. So if it's going up, well, you're kind of losing out type of thing, just so you can understand. So now let's explain the game theory. So if you and I both stake, it's a win-win for both of us because it goes up in price. It's great. So both players' staking results in a 6, which is 6 means good. Well, not 6 doesn't mean good, but I'm saying like 6 points is great. The more points you get, the better. If it's 0, then it's neutral. So who cares? Now, if you decide to bond because you don't know where the price is going, and I decide to stake, it's a +4 for the system because there's no sell pressure. Now, if you decide to sell, but I decide to bond, it's a neutral strategy because I'm unsure what the price is going to do. You're sure it's going to drop. So you sell, it's a -1. And I, on the other hand, bond because I think I'm getting it at a discount because I don't know what the price is going to do. So it's neutral. Like, it doesn't care. -1 and 1 cancel out. So it's 0. So the price is stagnant. So who cares? Now, if you bond and I stake, then it's a 3-1. So it's 4 points for the system, which is good. If you bond, I bond, because we both don't know what the price is going to do, well, it goes up because it's +2 points. Now, if you sell and I bond, then it's the same concept. A -1 and a 1 cancel out. Now, if you sell and I stake, because I'm like, yeah, I'm bullish on it, and you're like, nah, bro, I already made enough profits, I'm selling out. It cancels each other out because -3 and 1, -1, same thing. Same thing with selling and bonding. So like you decide to sell and I decide to bond. The sell is the -1 and the bond is the +1, so they cancel each other out. However, if both of us sell, then we both lose. So that is the only scenario where we both lose, is if we both sell. So that's just a concept to understand. I understand it's like complicated. It's like what the pants. Well, the main thing, the TLDR you guys need to know on this is the worst case scenario is both of us sell. And that's the game theory on it. So if you sell and I don't sell, it cancels out and it's a neutral strategy. So that's just a concept, just so you guys can understand. But anyways, let's go back into the white paper and explain some more of Olympus now that you guys have a concept of the game. We already explained why dollar peg stablecoins are basically a ripoff, because you're pegging to something that is depreciating in value. Sure, you can earn some juicy yields on it, but dude, are those yields always going to be there? I mean, come on. Yes, they'll stay there as long as they're there, but as more and more adoption gets in and people stop speculating and trying to get leverage on tokens, well, people aren't going to borrow. And if there's no borrowing, the lending rates are low. So again, we already explained ohm is backed, not pegged. And I know people are asking about the 3-3 meme. I just explained it as well. But 3-3 is the idea that if everyone cooperated in Olympus, it would generate the greatest gain for everyone. I'll explain another example with the game theory so you guys can understand it. This is the 3-3 meme, just so you guys can understand it. So again, like I was saying, a couple people are speculating on ohm, so that's why it's trading at a higher premium, is because people are trying to get the staking rewards and participating in the early adopt. And this explains how APY works. So first off, if you're depositing into the protocol, you guys will see like 50 to 100 to 150 days. You're like, man, this stinks. I'm like getting no rewards. And then it starts taking off exponentially. As you guys can understand, one of the seventh wonders of the world that Warren Buffett claims is compounding interest. And you guys can see it on a chart. Like if you literally start with 1 ohm compounded 2% daily, at the end of the year, you'll have almost 1,500 ohm, which is nuts. So a lot of people are asking, well, if it's backed by 1 DAI, what's the value of ohm? 1 DAI? Well, here's the answer to it. So, for example, there really is no clear answer because it's governed with the DAO. So the example they give is if the Treasury can guarantee to back every ohm with 100 DAI, aka changing it because it's through governance, the intrinsic value will be 100 DAI because, well, it's changing. So it's a raising price floor and it can change. So that's something to keep in mind as well. And here's a couple of options when you're staking. Staking is basically how you will keep your purchasing power. So like if you aren't staking, you're going to get diluted because everyone else is staking their own, aka 90% of the network is staking their own, so they're earning rewards. So staking is going to be the passive long-term strategy. So if you're bullish on ohm, you deposit, you stake it. As you guys saw on the chart, it's exponential over time. In my opinion, this is one of those things like game theory. You stake it for like you stake it and you let it sit for like a year and come back and see what happens. And keep in mind when you're purchasing this or investing in it, just understand like, hey, everything I invest in this, I understand I'm going to lose everything. And that's probably the best approach to take to it. If you're taking the approach like I'm going to be a multi-billionaire from this, well, you're taking the wrong approach. Like go somewhere else. You got to understand you're in crypto. You're going to be taking a lot of risks. If it works out, awesome. And you become a multi-billionaire, good for you. If you lose all your money, well, you knew you were losing all your money going into it. So staking is really straightforward. The only thing you need to know when you unstake is you will lose the recent rebase. So whatever that rebase is, like for example, if you go on the not the dashboard, on the staking dashboard, like each epoch, which is like 6 hours or 7 hours or something like that, the reward rate is going to be 0.46%. So it's nothing crazy that you'll be missing out on. There's a couple of other contents that you guys can look at, but really I want to show you guys the feature of bonding and then give you another example. You can also catch in the Discord and ask any questions I didn't answer on here because I probably missed a bunch of them. And you can always ask on the comments in the description below. But a thing you want to know is the bonding mechanism. Why would someone bond? Well, if someone doesn't know what the price is going to be at a certain period of time or where it's going to go, it would be in their best interest to bond. Yes, there is a vesting term. You have to hold it for 5 or 4 days before you can redeem it and start staking it. But when you purchase the bond, as you guys can see, there is a difference in the price, 618 DAI versus 631. So you're going to get at a lower price by bonding some DAI to purchase some of the OHM tokens. But yes, again, like I said, it's going to be locked up. And then there are some where it's negative. So like you'll be paying more. So that's something to keep in mind as well. Now, really, OHM just in general is one of those things, like it's just a big game theory that you need to understand. And I just want to end the video with this. This thread was awesome. I really liked it. Really good concepts, really good ideas. Don't even really know how to give a shout out to his name. But I'll just say, guys, the meme magic guy. I love this meme. Are you winning, son? Hold up, Dad. I'm re-architecting the global financial. It's hilarious, man. Because it just reminds me of boomers and millennials. This is how my dad talks to me as well, and I get it. I try to teach him this stuff, but he doesn't understand. And it's sometimes, well, actually, a lot of times he's right about this junk, but still. Let's go ahead and read it to you guys so you guys can understand it. So how is OHM different from another algo stablecoin? Well, first off, most algo stablecoins try to peg to 1 USD. This is where OHM differentiates itself. So trying to be pegged to something that is depreciating over time is just not worth it. You want to peg to the value of it, or be backed by the value of it. So it's backed by one DAI, aka the value of one DAI. Because it's not backed by or pegged to one DAI directly. In order to buy more OHM, you have to spend DAI to do it. That's why there is no, I guess you can say, price to grasp on OHM. So for example, gold. Like you could buy gold back in the 80s for like $50, but now you can't get an ounce of gold for nowhere near $1,000. It's like $1,600 right now. So that's how you can understand that concept. It's the value that is being held accountable. They're also looking to use more assets to back it besides just DAI. They introduce Frax. Hopefully they'll do UST as well. But anyway, the most important and most understood fundamental to grasp about OHM is the protocol mints and burns OHM. So the market at which OHM trades is a separate entity from the protocol itself. So the only time OHM will ever be burned is if it goes below one DAI. Because at that point in time, it's not backed by the value of one DAI. The reason why it's printing and minting a bunch of coins right now is because it's above the value of one DAI. So it's trying to issue more and more tokens. That's why I'm trying to explain the thought. That's why it has a premium right now, is because people are speculating, trying to get into the quote-unquote game theory of getting more tokens because it's paying extremely high APY. So on the one side, there's a protocol minting 1 OHM for any amount of DAI it receives, as long as the amount is greater than 1. So that means the OHM is fully backed by DAI. Contrary, most inflationary protocols that just print money out of thin air. So more OHM is not being created. It's only being created because the DAI that is backed. So if you look in the treasury balance, it's got $61 million. Right now, there is only how many OHM in circulation? Well, not even a million. That's why the APYs are so high, is because it tries to reach that ratio. And like I said, people are willing to pay a premium for OHM, which is why it's trading above one DAI. And there are several theories. The main one is just profitability. So just so you understand that. Note, a lot of people get stuck between the difference of backed versus pegged. And yeah, it makes sense because it's backed with the value of the DAI. So it's not pegged to it. If it was pegged to it, it's a depreciating asset and it's, yeah, no bueno. And that's why they say the sky's the limit. So for example, gold. Like gold is not pegged to $1, but it is stable. Like if you price things in the value of gold, you can buy a suit that you could buy back in the 80s for the same price of 1 ounce of gold. So if you price things in 1 ounce of gold, everything's relative. So a lot of people ask, where's the auto compounding 0.66% OHM? Well, right now it's like 0.46 coming from. Well, it emits staking rewards every 2,200 blocks. So 3 times a day. And this is the length of 1 epoch. So 1 epoch roughly being 8 hours, 8, 16, 24. 3 rebases a day. If you go 3-3, meaning you stake OHM and I stake OHM, we beat the market in game theory. That's why 90% of the OHM is staked. So staking rewards at the time are well, this is when he was writing as 0.66, but really it's 0.46. So the crazy high rewards can be granted during expansion. How is this crazy? Well, if you take 0.66 plus 0.66 plus 0.66, or let's just say 0.4, that's going to come out to about 1.2%. Well, if you compound a daily yield of 1.2% every day, do you not remember the exponential curve that we saw? Look at this exponential curve. This is compounded 2% daily. Look at this. If you turn 1 ohm deposited, that'll turn it into almost 1,500 ohm at the end of the year. That is a crazy, like that's nuts. Like that's not fathomable. That's the seventh wonder of the world. It's exponential growth, just so you can understand it. So when 1 ohm is trading around 850 DAI, it means the treasury is making 849 because, well, it's to the value of 1 DAI, which is aka $1. So it basically builds up the treasury, enabling the protocol to pay the stakers handsomely. So everyone wins. So in general, APY is higher the higher the price of ohm, and the price of ohm is indirectly controlled by the protocol. So if ohm goes down in value, well, the inflation rate is going to go down. So that's something to understand as well. The protocol does also acquire ohm/DAI liquidity via bonding in order to extend protocol control, making the treasury earning fees on the LP. Like we explained, you can bond in the LP tokens. So you can bond these two tokens as well. Just by providing DAI, it'll give you these contracts. So instead of having to make like multiple gas fees on the Ethereum chain, you can just do this all in one. Hence why this one, the Ohm Frax LP, is trading at, well, basically you're going to be paying to get it, is because you're not going to pay as many Ethereum gas fees. You're just buying the LP token. So this is why the Ohm price doesn't matter in the long term, is mainly because of the staking APRs. If you guys can see, if you stake 1 Ohm now and you're like, snap, I'm going to sell now at like 90 days. Well, you aren't going to see the total accrual and appreciation, because if you look at 1 Ohm now and then let it sit and grow after, well, 360 days or 365 days, this is how it auto compounds, like the game theory I'm explaining. So this is one of those things you have to keep in mind with time horizon. You guys can read the rest of the thread. I'll leave a link in the description below so you guys can see it. But this is just so you guys can understand and see how it works. And he gives this last example. So if you buy 1 ohm for 800 DAI, you would end up with roughly 1,344 DAI, like I showed you, in 12 months from now. So if you paid 800 DAI for 1 ohm, and then in 1 year it's 1,344, you actually profited. So like you got an additional $644 at the end of the year, which is a pretty high APY. But that's if ohm goes to 1 DAI. So it's not going to go below 1 DAI, because if it does, then it burns tokens and rebases, etc. So even if 1 ohm would trade at 1 DAI in 1 year's time, like I said, your profit is around $544. So, I mean, it's like, okay, what the snap? It's a win-win. So, I mean, your downside is you get $544 at the end of the year. The upside is whatever the price is if it's at $2, well, then theoretically your upside would be, well, crunch the numbers. 1,344 times 2 is going to be 2,688. And then obviously you minus your 800, you're going to profit about $1,800. Now, if it's 3 DAI or $3 per ohm, well, then at that point, you're going to even see more exponential, because it's going to be 1,344 times 3. So now it's at about $4,000 minus your initial investment. You would have profited $3,200. Now let's just say ohm stays at $100. If you let it auto compound, you go from 1 to 1,344 and it stays at $100. Well, if you multiply 1,344 times 100, that's going to be $134,400. And then obviously minus your initial investment of $800. That's insane, dude. On an investment of $800, if ohm goes down from $800, your initial investment, to $100, you would have made $133,000 in 1 year off the investment of 1 ohm. Guys, that's the game theory I'm trying to explain. Your downside is you make $544. So I don't know. I'm just kind of throwing those numbers out there just so you guys can understand the concept. Anyways, guys, if you guys enjoyed the video, 3 things for me: like, subscribe, bell button, leave a comment in that description below saying you subscribed. You will automatically get thrown into that drawing to earn $100 and free BTC. There's nothing more than a $100 free BTC giveaway. I mean, dude, that's guaranteed. Let's go ahead and leave you guys with a wisdom one-liner. Proverbs chapter 20 verses, you know what it is, boys and girls. 12. Ears that hear and eyes that see. The Lord has made them both. Why is this important? Well, dudes, like, don't be like, well, I got eyes, I could do everything, and neglect your ears. No, those ears are important. Same thing with your mouth, guys. If your mouth just keeps running and running and running and you aren't listening to people, well, you're missing something. That's why you have a mouth, ears, and eyes, so you can take in everything. And as always, guys, this is not financial advice. I am not a financial advisor. You will probably lose, well, actually, you will lose all of your money if you listen to anything I say, guys. I'm wrong 100,000% of the time, so please do not take this as financial advice. Do your own research. These are just my opinions, my thoughts, and what I... All right, cool story, bro. That's great and all, Johnny. Now, what are the risks? Well, you guys have a couple of risks. Obviously, the blatant one, it's smart contract risk. If there's a hack, etc., someone hacks it, messes with it, well, that's the biggest risk. So the second risk is a bank run, and what would occur in a scenario with a bank run is people try to sell the Olympus token, crashing the token, and when that would happen is like I showed you guys in the scenario. It's a risk reward. You can lose everything. Out of the 9 different scenarios, there is one scenario where it's a lose-lose. It's not a good thing. That's if you and I both sell. Like I explained to you, it's game theory. So as long as the 8 other options happen, well, no one loses. But if we both decide to sell, then we lose. So I know it's hard. It's kind of hard to understand. It's a hard concept to understand. But yeah, that's a risk. You lose everything. Oh, well, not everything. You just have a bank run, and if you bought 1 ohm at $600, you can now sell it at, well, about $26 because the treasury balance. Anyways, that's the risks involved, just so you guys can understand it. And yes, there are other risks as well, as in like if DAI has an issue and it's being backed by the value of DAI, that is an issue as well. That's why they're looking at other assets as well. AKA like DAI is as strong as its weakest link. If USDC gets shut down because Circle, the company, it's centralized, that's going to be an issue. That's why I'm thinking maybe add UST. But anyways, those are the risks, just so you guys can understand it. Dogs, gotta say thanks to the patrons: Sean Bott, Da Man, Tariq Liu, TL King, JP, PJ, Bernito, Taco Nacho. Dogs, thanks for watching. Alright guys, if you want to catch me on TikTok, I do daily wisdom one-liners and let you guys see the pets and behind the scenes junk. So here it is, scan it, check it out, bomb. Alright, so next off guys, if you guys want to support the channel and get paid to do it, you guys can check out Celsius. Celsius is fire, dude. So what's so cool about Celsius is, guys, first off, you can get $40 in free BTC using my referral link in the description below. Just deposit $100. Add in the code BTC50. You will also get an additional $50 if you deposit $400, guys. It's free BTC. Next is Voyager, guys. I also got a referral link in the description below. Instead of just only getting $25, you'll get $25 and some free VGX tokens, guys. Next is BlockFi. BlockFi is part of the quadruple threat. Go ahead and make a deposit. Use this referral link in the description below. You get $100. Depending on how much you deposit, you can get all the way up to, guess how much? $250. Alright, so what the pants is Celsius and BlockFi for? Well, you can use both of those as like your bank. They get some pretty nice juicy yields. And Voyager is more so like trading, and it gets some juicy yields as well. And the last one to try is Crypto.com, guys. You can trade some like smaller altcoins, and you guys will get $25 in CRO once you guys get the Visa card. Why do I like the Visa card? Well, you can sell crypto and buy some junk with it. So I can buy a sandwich with my crypto. I don't use BTC, but I'll use like Stablecoins and junk. So anyways, if you guys want to support the channel, that's the quadruple threat. Thanks for tuning in, guys. You'll get paid to do it.